Welcome to Inspiring Narratives, your favorite channel for uplifting stories, renewed hope, and cultivating a deeper connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Discover with me how turning to Allah can lead you to amazing changes in your life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are back with another uplifting story that will, by the grace of Allah, strengthen your faith and renew your hope, inshaAllah. Let's start by sending peace and blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Say it with me. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Pour yourself your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's get started with our story. What changed my life and made a huge difference in so many matters was the advice from this sheikh. One day, while I was desperately searching YouTube for anything that could help me, I found myself in a huge mess and I had no idea how to get out of it. I felt too ashamed to talk to anyone about it, especially my family, and I was scared to even think about how things could get worse. I had made mistakes that were weighing me down. My marriage was on the brink of falling apart, and divorce seemed like a real possibility. My home was at risk, and I felt like I was trapped in a storm with no escape. I messed up. But I also know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful and forgives all sins. I truly regret what I did. I prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking a way to fix my problems without anyone knowing what I was going through. I couldn't bear the thought of ruining my reputation or my marriage, especially because I'm a married woman and I have children. The first video I came across was a sheikh talking about trusting and having faith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of our problems. He was explaining how if we follow this advice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would answer our prayers, remove our debts, and bring happiness into our lives. He promised that some people would even see results within days. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was precisely what I needed. I just wanted a quick way out of my mess and have a fresh start. So I decided to give it a try. I committed to following the sheikh's advice down to the last detail, even though doubts kept creeping into my mind. The devil kept whispering to me that this wouldn't work, that my situation was hopeless, that I was wasting my time, but I pushed those thoughts aside and stayed focused. The sheikh shared a story about a wealthy businessman, a multimillionaire. Over time, however, his circumstances changed dramatically. His business began to suffer heavy losses, and he soon found himself buried in serious debt. After settling as much of his debt as possible, he still faced an outstanding balance of 3 million. Unable to find a solution or a way to resolve his problem, in his desperation, he sought help from the sheikh. The sheikh offered him the same guidance he had shared in the video, assuring the businessman that if he followed the instructions precisely, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would provide for him. The businessman followed the advice, and within the same month, he received 1 million. Over the next 3 months, he was able to pay off his entire debt. He paid off his debt and his problem was resolved. Hearing this, I thought, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could help someone who was millions in debt, surely he could help me with my problem, which felt so much smaller in comparison. I thought to myself, let me do exactly what he did. Let me follow the sheikh's advice. I had no other choice. So I put all my trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and followed the sheikh's advice. On the first day, nothing happened. The second day came and went. On the third day, I got a phone call. It was from the person who had been causing my problem. The one I feared could ruin everything. Not only did they return what they had taken from me, but they also deleted the voice recordings that I was afraid could lead to my divorce. Just like that, my problem vanished. I couldn't believe it. I had been battling this issue for 7 months, and in just a few days, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had solved it. That experience changed me. I realized that faith, real deep faith, isn't just about asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. It's about truly believing that He will help. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if Allah helps you, none can overcome you. But if He forsakes you, who is there that can help you after Him? So in Allah let the believers put their trust. And in another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and whoever puts their trust in Allah, He will be sufficient for them. When you hand over your problem to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the King of Kings, What do you think is going to happen? Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will solve your problem in the most amazing way. When you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will never forsake you and will truly bless you beyond your imagination. The Shaykh was advising, think of the biggest problem in your life, which you are unable to fix. And from this moment, decide that you will hand it over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take care of, and watch how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of it. You should feel at peace and free from any worry. Let go of any doubts and place your complete trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Avoid dwelling on the situation. Simply believe that it is taken care of. Another story about a man who was having arguments with his relatives over land. His family had taken the land from him unfairly, and no matter what he did, they refused to return it. He said, I tried to solve the situation in a nice way, communicating and remaining on good terms. Nothing worked. They refused to give me anything and denied the land was mine. I was advised to take the case to court, but the legal battle dragged on for over 4 years, with no resolution in sight. My relatives had fabricated evidence, and it looked like I was never going to get my land back. They saw me as weak, and they took advantage of that. That piece of land was all I had. I inherited it from my father. The people around me advised me to let it go, saying it was a lost cause and to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to compensate me for my loss. I attempted to forget about it, as it seemed like the only option, but it felt impossible. I felt so alone. Then a realization struck me. Why was I scared? Why had I become so weak? Had I forgotten that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me? He has the power to restore my rights. He can grant me victory over them. Understanding the true meaning of relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I decided to place my complete trust in Him. So I started making dua, surrendering the entire situation to Allah. I called on Allah using His beautiful names, Ya Qadir, Ya Muqtadir, the all-powerful, the all-dominant, Ya Qawi, Ya Jabbar, the strong, the restorer. I continued making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, confident that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would take care of everything. Deep inside me, I felt a strong sense of certainty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't let me down. Within that same month, the court ruled in my favor, and my land was returned to me, all because I put my faith entirely in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah blessed me because I relied on Him completely. I knew then that the real key was trust. Some people pray and wonder why their prayers aren't answered, but I've learned that it's not enough just to say the words. You have to believe in them with all your heart. Doubt blocks blessings. I've seen people say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Powerful words. There is no power nor strength except with Allah. But deep down, they are not sure if their prayers will be answered. How can you believe that there's no power or strength except with Allah, but at the same time you don't believe your du'as will be answered? That's the problem. You have to pray with certainty. You have to make dhikr with certainty. Live your life as if it's already done. I want to share this story so that you can see the effects of certainty on how fast the dua is answered when we truly trust and believe. A sister says, it's been a while since I graduated, and it's been my dream to find a job. I'm tired of staying at home. I'm unable to find a job. Others my age have a stable job and mashallah, very good salary. I've been making dua for a long time now and nothing has changed. People advise me to repeat the hawqala. I started practicing the hawqala and a year passed and still nothing. I felt calm and at peace, but no job offer. Then one day I realized that I was missing something very important, and that was confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I started believing with all my heart that Allah would bless me with the job that I needed. I even went out and bought new clothes, preparing myself as if I already had the job. 3 days later, I got a call from the company offering me a position. That's when I understood. It wasn't that Allah didn't answer my prayers, I just hadn't fully trusted in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This reminded me of the Sahaba, may Allah be pleased with them, when they prayed for rain, their level of faith and conviction in Allah's response was so strong that they would cover themselves, all their belongings, in anticipation of the rain before it even came. Another story that touched me was about a widow. She tells her story. I am a widow. My husband passed away in the prime of his life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me with 3 children from him, and we were doing well, alhamdulillah. We had a good life, but shortly after my husband's death, his uncles took my children's rights. I felt like my whole world collapsed. I didn't know what to do or how I'd manage life with my children. I tried to talk to them kindly, but they dismissed me and wouldn't listen to a word. They even told me, "You have no rights with us. If you want to file a lawsuit, go ahead. We won't give you anything. This is our right," and we took it back. I felt heartbroken. They took the house from me and I had to move in with my parents, with my children. My father told me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't forget anyone. Trust Allah and leave the matter to Him. That money is haram for them because it's not theirs. It belongs to orphans and it's forbidden for them to take it. I was confused by my father's words. I felt like I had to file a case in court to get my children's rights back. However, my father advised me avoid going to court. Instead, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and have faith that He will restore your rights. Pray sincerely and trust that Allah will not let you down or allow even a single penny to be lost. Allah is just and He has forbidden oppression. My father's words were new to me, and for the first time I started to feel like maybe trusting in Allah could actually bring back my children's rights. Could it really be possible that just by relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala my children would get their rights? My father assured me, yes, it will happen. The day will come when I'll remind you of these words and you'll see for yourself. So I decided not to file a lawsuit. I left everything to Allah. A year passed without knowing what to do and feeling incapable of solving the problem. Then just 1 week after I fully surrendered the matter to Allah, my husband's eldest brother came to me. He said, "We need to sit and talk and sort out what belongs to us and what belongs to you." So he came and sat with my father and me, brought documents, and we went over everything. He gave me my children's full rights and more, even though his 2 other brothers weren't happy about it. Allah guided him and made him help us. He returned everything that was rightfully ours without me filing any lawsuit. I handed my case over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and He resolved it for me. My trust in Allah was in the right place. He didn't let me down and He restored our rights, alhamdulillah. Truly surrendering the matter to Allah is a miracle and a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hope soon you will have great news of your lives changing for the better and that your prayers are answered and that you share your story with me real soon, inshallah. This brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed these stories. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so do leave a comment down below. I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.